without any further holdup, let's go ahead and bring in our guests, Brandon and Sam from Our Life in Horror. All right, there you go. All right, there you guys go.
Hi, happy 1 year.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's as I'm sure you guys are finding out now, it's like, doing YouTube is maybe it's different, but you guys kind of get the feeling where you're like, you almost get like addicted to creating vids. Like you put one out and then it's like, all right, what's the next one gonna be?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sam for sure.
We started out with a podcast we were doing for like what, a year and a half?
Year and a half, yeah.
And then we made the transition to YouTube, and I'm liking it even more than the podcast. I think it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, it is kind of nice to be able to just be seen. I think to be like a little more, I feel like being a little more expressive, when it's not just the audio. Because I'm guessing the podcast was just straight audio, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, and it's the YouTube journey is wild, right? Like because it seems like at the beginning you're sort of trying to figure out, all right, so how do I carve my space here? And then with you guys, being a duo, that's also a couple. I've always been kind of envious of that. Like I grew up playing music and stuff, and whenever we would play shows with like a band where there's a couple in the band, or maybe it's just a duo, and they're not only are they partners in life, but they're partners in their art. It's always like it's an interesting dynamic. So what is that? What's been figuring that dynamic out? I wish I could talk right now. What has it been like figuring out that dynamic? And, could you guys sort of go into maybe a little bit about, where you guys have overlap as far as fandom goes, and then maybe where you guys differ as far as your tastes in horror?
Well, we were just talking about this. This is real funny. So Sam likes, I guess we'll get into fandoms, but Sam likes the discount straight to DVD. You're going to pick up this movie for $1 type movies.
Yeah.
And
I also like slashers and shark movies and stuff.
Yeah,
Nice.
But like, it's most of the time it just looks like she's scraping like the bottom of the barrel for stuff.
There is a charm though in that, isn't there? Like there's something about, like, I'm a big Mystery Science Theater 3000 fan. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that show, but they watch these terrible movies, and it's the show, you may have seen it. It's got like the theater seats at the bottom. It's like a guy and two robots that are really just puppets, and they make fun of bad movies. And it gave me this strange appreciation for like schlocky shit, where I'm like, I kind of like the charm of something bad.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. I've always been like leaning towards cheesy stuff too, but like, yeah, some of the stuff you get into is like, it's out there.
I like Tubi.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's yeah. So you're like Evil Bong 7. I'll go ahead and watch it. Like screw it. Like the Gingerbread Man or whatever with Gary Busey. I'm into it. Like that kind of stuff.
We watched Ginger Dead Man, and I actually didn't like it.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it either, actually.
It felt like a porno without the porn. Like it was just like that cheesy, I guess.
Yeah.
That is an interesting genre of film where you're like, did they just take all the sex out of this and this is what we're left with? Like
Exactly.
Bad acting, bad lighting, just people that probably aren't even actors delivering lines.
Yeah, but what do you like?
Well, as like franchises go, like I'm a huge like creature feature. I like Tremors is like one of my favorite franchises.
And I don't do creatures.
Yeah, and Sam does not do creatures. Critters I really liked. Slashers I'm also into, like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. But I get more into like the paranormal stuff. Tends to freak me out more, and you're not into like the Exorcist stuff as much as I am.
No, I'm not into really exorcism movies. I feel like there's just so many out there. But if I'm in the mood to like really get scared, I'll sit down and watch like a paranormal with him. But it's like once in a blue moon. I usually like fun slashers and stuff.
Yeah. It's like, horror is just such a great escape, right? I don't know if people give you guys odd looks when you tell them you like horror, when you're not interacting with someone in the community. People are like, oh, you like that weird stuff, like as they back up and like try to find the door, like you know, but like for me, it's just like it's a roller coaster, and it's just an escape from, you know, real life is probably scarier than most horror movies.
Definitely.
Yep, for sure.
And I heard you, so I jumped in the stream, I believe, was it yesterday when you guys were doing the Late Night with the Devil, or 2 nights ago?
Yeah.
Was it Sunday?
I think it was
I don't even know.
Sunday, I
together.
think. I know, I'm losing track. It was
too
Sunday.
Too much THC for me to, like, you know, make heads or tails of it. But yeah, Sam, I heard you talking about not really liking the possession movies, and I'm kind of with you there as far as like, I don't know what it is, like religious possession doesn't really do it for me, but something like demonic possession, like The Evil Dead, I absolutely love. It's like this weird, like, you know, specific kind of fandom where it's just like, oh, I like the demonic possession movies to get a little wild, like kind of like Late Night with the Devil. I sort of like that way of doing it, and not so, I don't know what it is. Like, I grew up in a religious home and had a fine experience. Like, nothing crazy happened, but I don't know what it is about those that just sort of, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also a huge Evil Dead fan. Like, that's my probably top tier like franchises for me. Is like Army of Darkness. I grew up on watching a VHS tape that I wore out for sure.
Nice.
So I understand the Evil Dead love.
Yeah.
But I always try to find movies like that too. And paranormal, like if we're talking like ghost stuff, I just find it's almost so, it could be so like as long as it's well done, it could be real. Like, and it just freaks me out if I have all the lights off and I'm watching something like that. I don't know. It just gets under my skin more.
I can see that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you want that kind of like, you know, a little bit of that danger, but you know you're safe. But it is kind of nice when a movie comes along that, you know, I mean, the older you get, the tougher it's going to be to really like shock and scare you legitimately, right? But it is cool when you see something where you're like, you just get that feeling, you know, hair on the back of your neck stands up. You know, something like the way that, you know, Long Legs is looking to be, you know, it looks like one of those movies, you know, and hopefully it'll live up to everything that we've all built it up to be in our heads. I don't know. I would imagine you guys are looking forward to checking that one out, hopefully sometime this weekend.
Yeah, we're going Friday, and I've avoided trailers completely. Even at the theater, I looked away. Like, I don't want to know anything about it because it looks like it's going to be creepy, and I really hope it's not overhyped.
I know. This movie is such like the most creative marketing campaign I've ever seen. Like, it's taking me back to like the Blair Witch days. I'm not even old enough for that, but like, I know all the coverage on it, but like their first two trailer releases were just like still images, and they were just like close-up shots, and then there's nothing. So you're just like left with, what is this movie? And now they're releasing like websites and stuff, which is so interesting. You just haven't seen that since like Paranormal Activity or something like that.
Yeah, the website, I checked it out. It's like one of those old, like, you know, I'm an old cat. I'm in my 40s. So it reminds me of those old like Angel Fire, GeoCities pages from like the mid 90s. You know, it's got that look to it where it's just bare bones. I checked out the website, and even just looking at the site kind of creeped me out. But yeah, I totally know what you mean about the marketing. It's been fantastic. And I haven't watched, I heard the most recent trailer kind of gives stuff away. But the other trailers that I've seen, it's like, it looks so ambiguous. You're like, it kind of looks like there's a cult that has like a murderous leader, but like, what the hell do I, you know, it's like so difficult to make heads or tails. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why people are so excited. And I mean, it looks beautiful. Like the, you know, the cinematography from what we've seen looks deliberate and absolutely gorgeous.
I love Micah Monroe too. She's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I love Nicolas Cage too. So.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage is having this huge renaissance. I feel like in the last, like, you know, 6 or 7 years, he's kind of, you know, been able to be in all sorts of like arty kind of movies. You know, taking some more chances on good stuff, not the, you know, not the bargain basement stuff that you like to watch, Sam, but the more like, you know. Just like kind of, you know, more wild, like, you know, arty movies that just, it seems like I'm calling it a Cage-assance, where he's being able to like express himself in all these different like kind of wild roles. And, you know, I guess my only hope for Cage in this movie is that he's almost like unrecognizable to the point that it doesn't kind of take me out of it while watching it. But I think they've been really smart with the marketing to not really like show you anything, at least I haven't caught a glimpse of him in the trailer, or if I have, you don't really see his face to really know it's him.
Yeah, there's been like new stingers where it's like Mika Monroe, like when she first saw Nicolas Cage, like freaked out on set or something like that. It's like on the new teaser, like TV spot, so it's like really amping it up.
Yeah. So that's an interesting thing to talk about. I guess we can kind of get into that because it seems like overhype is really big in modern cinema, but like really huge with horror lately. Like it's almost like we're so starved for something, new and different, or just something that's going to kind of blow our socks off, that like every new movie that comes out, whether it's Late Night with the Devil or something like Abigail, and now we're getting it with we had it with Maxine and Longlegs, of course. Where like, do you think that the fans are just overhyping themselves so much that there's no way these movies could ever live up to it?
I think in some cases, definitely, like if their favorite actor is in it or their favorite scream queen or whatever, like they go crazy about it for like a year. And then the movie comes out and it's not as good as they expected, maybe. In some cases, the movie's great. I loved Abigail.
Yeah, Abigail was fantastic.
Yeah.
But even like franchises, like we probably overhyped ourselves up for Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah.
And we walked out a little disappointed with that one.
Yeah, I got to do a rewatch on that. I think I'll appreciate it more a second time around, but definitely I love 2013 so much that I don't know. I thought it was going to be I just hyped it up.
Yeah.
We felt like the teaser promised so much more than what was actually delivered.
Yeah.
You guys are speaking my language right now. Because I felt the same exact way. I felt like kind of like a jerk a little bit after watching Evil Dead Rise, where I was like, man, am I the jerk for not really liking that as much as I wanted to? Because same kind of thing you guys are like, when the trailer came out, I was like, oh man, if they're showing this in the trailer, like this movie is gonna like just be mind-blowing with where they push the gore. Because to echo what you were saying, Sam, 2013 is absolutely fantastic. To me, it's like it's my second favorite to the original, because it has that feeling of the original, but just slicker production, but in a way that feels real and visceral. And I felt like Rise sort of kind of walked up to the edge, didn't really take the dive. It sort of like looked around and was like, yeah, this is fun to play near the edge, but I'm gonna hang back, because I felt like there was just something missing from Rise. I don't know. Maybe us Evil Dead fans are spoiled because that series is just so consistently impressive and kind of all over the place, but in a really cool way. Like, do you guys, they're producing like 2 Evil Dead films. It seems like pre-production simultaneously, right? I don't know which stage each one is at, but do you guys want to see Evil Dead continue to sort of like genre bend a little bit? Do you want to see something that feels a little more like Evil Dead 2 or Ash versus Evil Dead that veers into a little bit more of that comedy, or something like Army of Darkness that really spills over there? Or like, what do you guys want to see from a franchise like Evil Dead?
I'll let you answer. I'm not a big fan of the originals. The 2013 to me is a perfect movie. I love that movie.
Yeah.
But the originals, I didn't grow up on them. They just didn't do it for me. So you can answer that.
I think Army of Darkness is just such a lightning in a bottle type of movie, even though it wasn't even that like critically acclaimed when it came out. But I don't think you can find somebody that is as charming as Bruce Campbell is to kind of carry, or as talented as Sam Raimi is to kind of carry that tone in such a, like, each movie essentially shifts its tone so drastically. And he's been the only director that's been able to do that, in my opinion.
The first 3 movies are like, it's straight up horror comedy, and then like comedy with a splash of horror. It's a really cool, like, that original trilogy takes you on quite a journey. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like no one's really tried that kind of thing. I mean, I get, with what Ty West did with like Pearl X and Maxine is, creative in a sense, because it's like each film sort of stands alone, and has a different kind of feel. But yeah, nothing quite like a guy like Sam Raimi. I mean, man, what incredible style. Spider-Man 2 is still one of those movies where I'm like, I always go back to Spider-Man 2. They can put out all sorts of comic book movies and all that, but I'm always going to go back to that movie and be like, that's like the perfect director for that style of movie, you know, just like taking the camera and just doing that kind of thing with it and just having fun. Now, Sam, you said you didn't grow up with Evil Dead. When you guys, how long have you guys known each other?
Maybe 6.
5 years in August.
Is it 5?
5.
I thought it was 6. Oh, sorry.
5 years in August.
Now, were you into horror before you guys met, Sam, or was that something that you know?
Yeah, I was. So he's always been a movie buff. I still don't consider myself a movie buff. I'm just a horror fan. I've learned a lot over the years. But yeah, I started getting into horror when I was like horror in high school. And then in my 20s, I started just kind of watching extreme horror by myself on my laptop because I had like in high school I watched it with friends, and then in my 20s our friends kind of like our friend group dispersed and I just kept watching it by myself, and then I met you and we started watching even more horror.
Yeah, I remember when you came over to my place for the first time, and I'm like, I got this horror movie collection, and we were on a double date, and you totally ignored us, and you went and sat in front of my movie collection. It was just like, oh, I want to watch this, and I want to watch that, and like
just ditched everyone on the date.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, she really likes that. That's cool.
That's something special right there. I used to. I was the guy that would go when people still were collecting CDs and stuff like that. I would go and like look at people's CD collections. And there was a point in my life in my 20s where I was dating someone and they were like, I hate it when you do that. And I'm like, this is probably not going to work out then. Because I'm I'm a movie and music guy. So it's like either one. Like if I walk into someone's house and they have their, movie collection or record collection on display, like, yeah, you bet your ass I'm going to like thumb through that and see what's up, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm the same way too. I met in Jess's place. I did that too, and we first went over to their house. And I'm like, oh, they got their horror movie collection out. I'm just gonna sit here for a few minutes and take a gander.
Yeah. It's what better way to judge someone than to look at the art that they choose to spend money on, right? Now, Brendan, it sounds like you grew up, at least you mentioned you grew up watching Army of Darkness, but were you into horror as like a little kid, or when did you find horror in your life?
It was probably just a little bit before 2003. So I would have been like 9. Like I remember being shown like Jaws at a very young age, and then Deep Blue Sea. And then my uncles are all relatively close in age. So they were just like in high school when I was like young, and they would be getting like burnt copies of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 and Darkness Falls, Jeepers Creepers. So they basically showed me everything, and then I'd send me home to my mom's place with screaming nightmares. But that's not exactly when I started to get into it. I guess 2003 was also when Freddy versus Jason came out. So that started my slasher boom, because I was always on the website for Freddy versus Jason looking at their kill stats. And then I had to go and get all the movies. That's when I started collecting, actually, because I had to collect all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and then the Friday the 13th. And then I didn't really start to get into like horror like a philosophical way until I watched George A. Romero's it's Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead remake, and I just thought it was so fantastic. And then I just watched all of the Romero movies, so I got huge into those. George actually shot a bit of Survival of the Dead in my hometown growing up, so I got to see the man before he died.
Oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's just always been there. And then I went through phases like gangster movies, Oscar Best Winner series, and everything like that. But horror has always been the core. I've found myself always coming back to horror, because I did the whole like in my 20s. Yeah, it was all right. I'm gonna watch Citizen Kane. I'm gonna go back and watch
the old like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with Frederick March. Like I'm just gonna watch all these older movies, you know, just to sort of like gain that catalog of like the history of film. And I think it helps you appreciate like, you know, just how difficult film can be, you know, what an awesome collaborative process that making a movie is. And then it helps kind of inform your opinion, you know, as you like move on and watch things from there, you know, watch films from there, you sort of like, you know, not that you maybe you do judge them a little more harshly, but I feel like you just have a more well-rounded view of like, you know, what's good cinema and what isn't. Now you guys are in Ontario, Canada, right?
Yes.
Did you guys both grow up there?
Yeah. Yeah. We actually met at a music festival.
Yep.
So random.
Now, are you guys kind of in a big city, or are you close to a big city?
It's not big like Toronto or anything. It's small compared to Toronto.
Yeah.
You were from a small town.
Oh yeah, I was from a town with like one main intersection.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Port Dover. Have you ever heard of Port Dover?
I haven't. No, but Ontario is a pretty big province, isn't it? Land-wise?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like after we met, it turns out that you lived in Paris and I was living in Delhi and
Paris, Ontario.
Yeah. And it was only
40 minutes.
40 minutes away from each other.
Yeah. So if like we want to go to like a horror convention or something, we go out to Niagara Falls.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So New York is even closer than, or Niagara is Toronto right near the falls or relatively close? I'm so bad with my geography. It's embarrassing.
Too, and I live here.
The most American thing ever.
Toronto's about like an hour 40 from us, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
not terrible. Yeah.
No, it's just traffic. I don't really want to. We talked about going to Fan Expo because that's like the huge one there in Toronto, but
I hate the city.
Yeah, and I'm developing over time that I'm hating people. So
well, it's great. You know, you love horror, you hate people.
Crowds of people.
Crowds of people.
Yeah.
Crowds of people.
I'm right there with you. I grew up in a 30,000 person town in Southeast Alaska. So like there are times when I'm like, you know, growing up, especially, you're like, man, I want to, you know, go to concerts and I want to, you know, do all these really fun things that you can't do in a tiny town in Alaska. But now that I'm, you know, my wife and I live just outside of Phoenix, and it's like, it's really cool that we get to go and do the things we want to do. But man, every time I go out in a big crowd, I don't know what it is. The anxiety just like builds. And it's like, seems to be the older I get, the more nervous I become.
That's the same with me.
But all you got to do is wear that Terrifier 2 shirt. You know, people, they're wide berth. They'll be like, what the hell is that? I don't know what this guy's up to.
Yeah, this isn't an in public shirt. This is more of a
wear it at home.
Home shirt.
Oh, it's great. I really enjoyed Terrifier 2. I had a terrible time with the first film, but I really, really enjoyed the second film. It like totally brought me like around on the whole thing. So I'm really looking forward to Terrifier 3. I would imagine you guys are as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you actually like the first one. Actually,
I like the second one more. I like the length of the first one. But I did hear that the third one is going to be, around an hour 45?
Yeah, an hour 40, 45.
Yeah, so
perfect.
That's good. Yeah.
I think the third one could be the best one.
I'm looking forward to it.
It could be. I hope it's a franchise that just continues to get wilder and crazier with its ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I love that they're not giving away too much about like I know they've mentioned like the opening scene is gonna like shock you and all this stuff, but I'm glad that we're not getting like actual leaks on it. I know there was like when the trailer came out, there was a, you know, horror Twitter is hilarious because like the trailer came out and there was like this faction of people that were like, oh my gosh, if they kill children, then that's just it for me. That's where I draw the line. And it's just sort of like, oh my gosh, like, what are we doing here? Like everything should be on the table with a franchise like Terrifier, right? Isn't that why the franchise exists?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It's such a taboo thing to kill children in horror movies, but like we just watched one and it killed at least one child in a very brutal.
What movie?
We just watched Jaws.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. No one talks about that. I haven't even, like, Jaws is my favorite film of all time. It's never even occurred to me that, like, yeah, that's a straight up child. That's a creepy kill too. And I don't know. Have you guys seen like because they have like behind the scenes pictures of like when they were trying to shoot that to show more of the shark or whatever, and it looks even more like creepy and terrifying. Have you guys seen those black and white pictures?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I'll have to send them to you once we offline or whatever. They're just, it just makes it even more disturbing. But I do love, like, you see that flash of like the fin spinning in the water and just that little bit of screaming. And man, Jaws is, how many films do everything right the way that Jaws does? Like drama, thrills, scares, comedy. It does whatever it wants. No porno though.
No.
A little bit at the start.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing a live on it tomorrow. It was Sam's first time watch.
Yeah, I watched it for the very first time.
Oh, nice. So you pre-recorded it, or wait, or you're?
No, it's a live tomorrow night. Yeah.
Okay. So you just watched it for the first time, and then you guys are discussing it
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Everybody, check the link in the description below. Go ahead and sub over at Our Life in Horror, and make sure you watch that. I'll be there. I will be there. Well, until Kate and I are going to see Longlegs at 7:00 tomorrow,
Nice.
Our time. So I would imagine you guys are probably going to be. What time does it? What time will that be going live?
7 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, perfect.
So I'm not sure what time it is there for you.
That'll be 4 p.m. right when I get done with work. Click right on over because I'll take all the Jaws I can get, and I really enjoy, like, I love your guys's the chemistry, and just really love that you guys are jumping right out of the gate, putting together so many videos. What's that like, balancing work life, your relationship, and then also the content creation? Is that something that you guys have found a groove in now that you've been doing it for 4 months, or is it kind of an ongoing process?
I feel like we have a better groove now than we did podcasting. Do you think that?
Yeah, I think one thing that's nice about having two people that have two different tastes in movies allows us for more product, essentially, like videos, right?
You do some solo reviews. I do some solo trailer reviews
and reviews.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he'll do lots of physical media stuff. I don't collect physical media, so that's all his stuff. But then I edit the videos, so like it just works.
Yep.
Yeah, and then if I need to decompress, I watch reality TV in the bedroom. If he needs to decompress, he watches whatever he wants in the living room. And
yeah, like I'm trying so hard. I'm having a hard time trying to keep up with the physical media because it's almost like every day there's something announced. Mm-hmm. And I work the 5 days a week, and then sometimes I'll work weekends as well during the summer because I'm a mason. So it's my time to earn some extra cash here and there. So I have been having a real difficult time with trying to keep up.
It's hard too because like some YouTube channels, they focus solely on physical media, and then others are solely on reviews, and we're kind of doing it all, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but so that probably makes it hard for you to keep up with the physical media too, because it's like, oh, we have a live tonight, sorry, like you can't barely do your physical media video now because I'm not gonna have time to edit it and stuff. So we don't have that like niche thing, I guess. But I mean, I'm having fun doing it still. So
yeah, same with me too. Yeah. Like I just got to do an unboxing for the Psycho 4K that Arrow released, the box set. So I had a lot of fun doing that. I hope people that watch it have a good time with it too. Yeah,
I saw that you just posted that video just a few hours ago, right?
Yeah.
So look at that, guys. Sub if you haven't already. What you're at about 250 right now on subs. Is that where it's at?
230 something.
230 something.
Yeah.
Guys, go over there. Hop out of the stream if you have to. Go sub. Come on back. We'll be waiting for you. We'll just sit here and do this until you guys come back. Jamie just subbed. That's great. Yeah, let's get him over that 250 hump here during the stream if we can. I know You know, each milestone feels so good, especially when you're just getting going. And it's, you know, it kind of helps fuel that fire there. But you're absolutely right about, you know, just trying to, like, when I first started, it was sort of like, anything I want to cover, I'm just going to like put it out there. I'll throw all the noodles at the wall and see which ones stick, you know? But, you know, to your guys' point, it's like YouTube almost like punishes you if you try to do a whole bunch of different stuff. You know, like they kind of want content creators that are like going to have their thing, you know? And yeah, the physical media is really tough to, you know, keep up on, not only because of all the announcements, but man, it's an expensive hobby, you know? So to be able to cover it, it kind of blows my mind. Some of these channels, I'm like, man, like you know, more power to them. I wish I were in that spot where it's just like, yeah, you can buy everything and review everything. I mean, that would be amazing. But it's like, you know, I sort of, you know, pick my spots. But yeah, I have something called the Physical Media Show Off show that I haven't touched in months because it just wasn't getting the views, but I really loved it because I was showing off like, you know, Blu-rays and like vinyl. Like my wife and I have 550 records, so I was showing off like special edition vinyl and all like stuff that I'm really passionate about. But it's like, you know, sometimes you see the views and you're like, okay, well, I'm not gonna get my feelings hurt about it, but maybe I just need to sort of redirect that energy and then maybe build up the following, and I can always go back and see if it hits at that time. Yeah, I'll have to check out the Psycho box set once we're offline, and then of course, yeah, gonna tune in for Jaws tomorrow as well, because I just, especially in the summer, I can't get enough Jaws. Like we've already watched 1, 2, and The Revenge. I think we're gonna do a live stream watch along of Jaws 3 this weekend.
Oh, nice. When are you doing it?
I think we'll do it on Saturday. I'm like, once I get done with this, I'll make a thumbnail. It's sort of like, yeah, I mean, you guys know what it's like. It's as soon as you're done with one thing, you're like, all right, well, let me pull the computer out to the living room and like get back to work. But, you know, it's like these, you know, there's something about being creative that's just really good for mental health. So like, that's kind of how I look at it, coming from a music world where like I had so much fun playing music and writing music and all that. But once I stepped away from it and kind of like, you know, turned the page on that, I was like, man, I'm sort of bummed out now that I'm not being creative. So I felt like once I got into YouTube, it was like, all right, I feel kind of alive again and like a little bit like my old self. Do you guys feel, is that something that you guys get that sort of gratification from, you know, creating content on YouTube?
I definitely do. I think that's why I like it so much more than the podcast. When we were podcasting, I burned out like every month, probably like once a month I would burn out. And I don't know if I've really burned out doing YouTube yet.
I don't think so.
No. And I think it's because, you know, like you said, you're making the thumbnail, you're making the background for your green screen. I do all the editing clearly, but it's like just a good creative outlet. And it's not just audio, right? Like you get to do more artsy fun stuff, a background for the live. And I don't know. It's fun to do.
Yeah. I think I burned out in the first 2 weeks, but I think
of YouTube.
Oh, I think it's just because like we were trying so much at the start, and we were trying
to fire out videos real quick.
Yeah, and we just hadn't like
we didn't ease into it.
No, or figure out a system on how to do things.
No, it was a learning curve for sure.
Yeah, but I'm good with it now.
Yeah, me too.
And like you said, yeah, it's a good creative outlet. Like I used to be I was a drama kid, and I don't do any of that anymore. Like I just go to work and lay bricks. So
well, yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about YouTube is people, you know, whatever your background is, even if it's not an artistic background, it's just this awesome outlet for, you know, people to express themselves, show off their personality, share what they love, and then, you know, hang out with people and make friends within the community, whether it's the audience members or the fellow content creators. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, you know, it's one of those things where you just sort of have to put the blinders on sometimes. And you're like, I'm just going to put my head down and do this because I want to do it. Damn the man and damn the views. I'm just going to go ahead. Like Nick says here, Nick Push, screw the views, do your thing, Davey. It's true, Nick. It's true. And you know, the physical media show off show, well, maybe it'll come back. But yeah, it is a tough game out there in YouTube. Absolutely. Yeah, you guys are, you know, coming up on what, 4 months. I saw that you just posted that you guys are doing you're putting together something special for right around Halloween. I saw you're asking for folks to sort of like record their own contributions for something that you're wrapping up in August, just to get it all ready for the spooky season, right?
Yeah, so we got the idea from Sledgehammer Horror. They were on your show. We went on their show too for our first horror movie episode. And yeah, so they did a video where they had people submit videos for, it was like a scene in a non-horror movie that scared them.
Yep.
And so I was like, that's a really good idea. So I like shouted them out too when we did our post. But yeah, we just wanted people to submit like a 1 to 3 minute clip of them just saying what their favorite Halloween movie is, like to watch during spooky season, and we'll put them all together, and then September or October we'll release it. I don't know, it's just, I love socializing in the community. That's another thing I love about YouTube is we get to like chat with more people. It's another platform. Like I'm all over Twitter too. I run the page. I'm talking with people all day, so I just like to chat with everyone and see where everyone comes from and what everyone's into. And yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably the benefit too of doing YouTube over doing like a podcast. I feel like there's just a bit more of a, you know, when people can see you, I think people can relate a little bit more, right? So, and then you just get to, you know, because even though I may enjoy certain podcasts, I'm way more likely to tune into somebody on YouTube. Even if I click my screen off and just end up listening to them while I'm doing chores or whatever, I like the option of being able to like, what's this person look like? Like, let me put, you know, a face with the voice. And, you know, again, you get to just see how expressive, you know, it's another form of expression, just being able to see somebody. So I think that's definitely, yeah, one of those things with interacting with the community as well. And being able to put a face to the names that you see, you know, scrolling through the chat when you guys are doing your lives, and, or even, you know, like, I'm sure you guys are the same way as I am. When I'm not making a video, I'm in somebody else's live chat trying to cause a ruckus. So
I go in lives all the time at night. Yeah, it's more personable.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. That's why, you know, and I didn't do lives for, man, I'd probably been doing it YouTube for about 6 months because I just wanted to kind of build something up. So I'm like, man, the last thing I want to do is go live and then be like, oh, I wasn't ready for that, or I didn't like, you know, I don't know what the heck the fear was, but like once I started doing it, I'm like, oh shit, now I'm addicted to the live thing. Like screw the pre-recorded thing. That takes a long time. You know all about it, Sam, from doing the editing, that it's like I would do these videos and I'd stay up till like 3 or 4 in the morning editing. And then because I gave myself a deadline like a moron, and then I'd wake up at 7 a.m. and go to work. It was just brutal.
Yeah, it's nice that you do the live and then it's just thrown onto the channel. You don't have to touch it.
Yeah. And then, yeah, if do you guys use StreamYard for your lives?
Yeah.
And then you can cut it up from like what I've been doing is, I just cut out like a section. So because the YouTube doesn't do much favors for the live streams. I don't know if everyone in the chat knows this or not, but once you do a live stream, maybe like 24 hours, you get some views. But after that, it's sort of, but you know, if you can chop it up a little bit, make it a little more interesting. StreamYard does that really cool AI shorts clips. Have you guys played around with that feature?
No, I don't even know what that is.
If you keep your video under 2 hours long, it'll be like, hey, do you want to generate these AI clips? And it's hilarious because the AI, it'll just grab like 30-second to minute long shorts, and it'll create these hilarious titles. I don't know I know everyone hates AI, but it's like, hey, if you're doing like a DIY project, you know, it's like, I can't hire somebody to do shorts for me, so why not let the AI do it, you know?
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty all right. Yeah, guys, let's get into I'm thinking it's time to play a little start bench cut. Unless there's anything else you guys want to bring up. I think we covered what you guys have coming or going on lately, and what you guys have coming up. But is there something else you guys want to pitch, or maybe you know, let us know about a collaboration on someone else's channel that you guys have coming up?
Do we have any? It's your. The
I
scheduler
know.
as
You
well?
know what? I'm blanking, so we'll pass for now. I don't have my calendar in front of me, and then I'm like brain fried. So
You know what's great though about a show like this is if it ever pops in your head for the remainder of the interview, you can just blurt it out.
yeah. Okay.
All right. So guys, in the chat, if you want to either ask Sam and Brendan a question, or if you want to contribute a start bench cut, now is the time to throw those in the chat. I'm going to get going with this one's kind of like a classic one, I think. Start bench cut. I'm going to do one-off horror films. So horror films that did not have a sequel. Let's do start bench cut. We'll go with Black Christmas 74, The Burning, and what's another good one? My Bloody Valentine. Start bench cut.
Yeah, 2 Canadian titles in there. I think I know. What
Yeah,
I'm doing.
I threw you guys a little love.
I think I know what I'm doing.
All right, go for it.
I'm going to. So start is the best, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
start would be yeah exactly.
I'm gonna go Black Christmas. I'm gonna bench My Bloody Valentine, and I'm gonna cut The Burning, which I do like The Burning, but
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna start The Burning.
no.
Okay. I'm gonna start My Bloody Valentine. I'm gonna bench Black Christmas, and then I'm gonna cut The Burning.
Oof. Sorry, The Burning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys on. I've only watched The Burning once. I bought it to watch it, and I was like, "Oh no, this movie! I don't know if I really like it very much because I know it's a total classic. It's like you feel bad if you don't like something that's a classic, you know."
I did like it. I just like the others more.
I did too, but yeah, I think My Bloody Valentine, the original, is just so much fun. Like, what a lovable bunch of characters. Like,
Yeah.
and then Black Christmas is just downright creepy.
Yeah, it is. And I like festive movies. I mean, they're both festive, I guess, but yeah.
Black Christmas, like the whole, it really does like have a Christmas feel. I think that's like the best thing going for it. And I think even like the 06, like it's kind of a remake, sort of a semi sequel ish remake. I feel like that's got a good Christmas vibe too. And like, yeah, there's something about the original Black Christmas. It's almost like it gets that, and the original Halloween to me every year get creepier and creepier. I don't know what it is. And I can't even get my wife to watch Black Christmas because one time she walked through and heard Billy on the phone and was like, I don't ever want to see this. I don't ever want you to imitate that voice as I'm imitating. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, that movie is incredibly effective. And yeah, My Bloody Valentine. What do you guys think about Blumhouse getting the rights to My Bloody Valentine? What do you guys want to see happen with the franchise?
I don't know what I want to see happen, but unpopular opinion, I'm okay with it. Like I'm down. I'm always down for another Valentine's Day themed horror movie. I'm just festive like that. I know you have a different opinion. I can see it in your eyes.
I don't know. It just depends on what they do with the project, really. Like they totally fumbled The Exorcist. They also fumbled the Halloween trilogy. They haven't really like Imaginary. I hear wasn't that great. They've been really struggling lately in horror. What was the Night Swim? I think was also a Blumhouse movie.
I didn't hate it.
That movie was fucking awful.
I didn't hate Night Swim.
It seems like they might have a little bit more of a better track record with the franchises, just a little bit. Yeah. I mean, Halloween, like I like those David Gordon Green Halloween movies. Of course, there's parts that don't really work for me. You know, even if they fumbled Halloween, they at least got the ball back and were able to kick a field goal. Maybe they didn't score the touchdown, but I feel like they got a little something out of there. Yeah. I mean, what do you do with My Bloody Valentine? It's been so long since the original, and then the remake didn't go anywhere. So it's almost like you have to like remake it. You know, it's like you're in a weird spot like with that. And hopefully, you know, because both of the films in the series so far end on cliffhangers. So hopefully they can find a way to end it on a cliffhanger and actually make the follow-up. Because I think that's one of the biggest shames in horror history is that we didn't get a true sequel to the original My Bloody Valentine.
Yep. Even the '09 one, I like the '09 one.
I love that
I
one.
almost would like to see Jensen Ackles back as
Yeah.
yeah, he wasn't Axel, was he? No, the cop was Axel.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because they did the flip. They did the whole flip where it's like it's not Axel, it's the killer in the remake.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, everyone. It's a 15-year-old movie. Get with the times. So they could go legacy sequel, bring Jensen back.
Yeah. They could bring back all the trio because
Yeah.
they're all still alive. They're all still fairly young.
Mhm.
Like Jensen was just in The Boys, and he's more ripped than fucking ever.
Is he? I've totally. You guys have been covering The Boys lately, haven't you, on your channel?
We slacked.
We missed the last 2 episodes.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I know it was something we wanted to do, and then it just
It just so happens that every new horror movie is coming out when the season's debuting.
the Boys comes out on Thursdays, and we like to go see the new movies on Thursdays. So it just kind of
Well, just quit your jobs and live in poverty and make YouTube videos. What's wrong with you?
Right?
Come on. It is like sometimes it makes me wonder. I'm like, I had Christian from Planet CHH. You guys watch his channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming on ours in a couple of weeks.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that guy is so impressive, the amount of content he creates. I had him on late night and was kind of picking his brain, and he's just like, yeah, I come when I come up on my weekend, I just stay up like all night, essentially that first night, and shoot for 8 to 10 hours. And I'm just like, excuse me? Like, oh my, that's impressive, man. It's almost like athletic at that point to be able to do that much. Let's see. You know what? We've actually got some start bench cut requests from the live chat. So Big Rod's got one for you guys. Start bench cut Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and the Scream franchises as a whole.
Ooh.
That makes it tougher when you're doing a whole franchise, huh? Makes it a little tougher.
Yeah. I think I know what I'm doing.
Sam, you're decisive.
I can wing it.
I think I'm going to go with Scream starts, bench, Nightmare on Elm Street, and cut Halloween.
Oh,
yeah. I'm not a big Halloween girly.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, it's been fun. No, I'm just joking.
You're also probably not going to like my answer either. I'm going to start A Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm going to bench Scream, and then I'm going to cut Halloween as well.
Oh, all right. Hey, all opinions are welcome here. I had nothing to do with making any of those movies, so I don't take it personally. That's for sure. Yeah, that's a really good one, Big Rod.
That was hard.
Oh, man. That is really tough. I would probably... I know I didn't chime in on the one that I gave out, but I guess that makes sense. But Big Rod, just in case, not saying that you're asking me to contribute, but I would go start Halloween, bench Scream, and cut A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because with A Nightmare on Elm Street, there's only a few of those movies that I really like, could rewatch every year, something like that. I don't know.
I haven't seen them all. That's why I benched them, but I do love Freddy Krueger. So
yeah. Part 5, 6, and then the remake. They might change your opinion.
Freddy's dead.
I actually don't hate the remake.
Yeah.
I mean, what's to hate, really? It's like I can't really hate on it too much, but I do think it's when you compare it to like TCM 03 and the Friday the 13th remake, and then you put on a Nightmare remake, you're like, oh geez, this is not even close. But I'm not one of those people that like just hates the remake just because they're a remake. It's like I'll give them all a fair shot, especially when it comes to horror, because I just think we need as much horror as we can get.
Yeah.
And Jamie's got a really good one here. Start bench cut 80s remakes: The Fly, The Blob, The Thing.
I can't answer. I haven't seen any of them. That's all you.
You watched The Blob?
Oh, I have seen The Blob, so I'm starting The Blob. Don't know what I'm doing with the rest, though.
Yeah, you had a great time with The Blob.
The Blob's really
the pink
fun.
one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I actually did like that movie.
This is probably the hardest decision I'm ever gonna have to make in my life. Oh, geez. I'll start the thing. I'll bench the fly, and I'll cut the blob.
Ooh.
Oh, that hurts.
That is really tough. Yeah, I've got to start the thing, right? I'm probably right there with you, Brendan. I would start the thing, bench the fly, and cut the blob. I've only seen the blob like twice, so maybe if I watched it a little bit more, I might feel a little bit differently. But that's a man. Those are all really high quality remakes.
Yeah, the blob is just so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
But the first two are so serious and such well-made movies. It's just so hard.
Yeah. And the Blob, wasn't that directed by Chuck Russell? I think he did. Was it Dream Warriors? I think he directed that movie as well.
I think so. I don't know too much about it.
And Frank Darabont wrote the script for the Blob, I think.
Yes.
I'm trying to pull out with, trying to, drudge through all the THC and everything to find some facts. Shawnee Smith is in the Blob, right? Everyone loves Shawnee Smith.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a Dylan. I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Is it
not Matt Dillon? It's his brother, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. I feel so bad because I feel like Matt's become more of the star like after. But yeah, his brother is like the leather jacket motorcycle guy. He like takes that crazy jump across the little gully there. Yeah. What a blast of a movie. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Gavin, I don't know if this is a start bench cut, but he just wants to know who you would invite to your summer barbecue cookout. Captain Spaulding, Chop Top, or Hannibal Lecter?
Spaulding.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I would invite Hannibal as long as he's going to cook for me.
As long
as he's not going to cook me.
Yeah. Hannibal's an interesting character because he's like so charming, but it's like you just never know. Is he going to let you go, or are you going to be a victim?
Yeah.
I think I would just laugh with Spaulding.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Sid Haig is very, what a charming personality as far as like just larger than life, those characters that he plays. Even in that terrible Night of the Living Dead 3D remake movie that he was in, still fun, Which if you like trashy movies, Sam, you should watch that because Night of the Living Dead they forgot to put the copyright on it. Do you guys know that whole story with that? Yeah. That is like the biggest heartbreaker in horror history right there. I just imagine the empire that Romero would have been able to set up if they just included that damn copyright. Let's see here. Oh, Kate's contributing there. Start, Scream, bench, Halloween, cut, Nightmare. All right, well, we're getting a divorce. No, I'm just joking. Tyler, it is too late to start over. However, you can always scrub back, right? So no worries. We call that an L take. He's ripping me for something. This guy, I tell you. We got Cheesy Corn Pop hopping in as well. All right. Does anybody have any other start bench cuts? Let me fly through here. Kate says, OMG, girl, watch the thing.
That's like a space movie, though, isn't it? I'm not big on space movies.
It takes place on Earth.
What?
Yeah,
it's an alien, right?
It's an alien that's been like frozen in Antarctica for God knows how long.
Yeah, I really don't think it's gonna be for me.
She's never seen the original Alien.
No, I'm gonna watch it for the first time before we go see the new one.
Yep.
Yeah, the original Alien's
there
awesome.
There was one alien movie that I liked,
Extraterrestrial.
That one was wild.
Yeah.
E.T., the extraterrestrial?
No, this is a Canadian movie. I can't remember who directed it now. It's a set of brothers. They also directed Grave Encounters.
It's like a found footage, right? Wasn't it?
No, it's an actual movie. They do some cell phone footage here and there.
Oh, maybe that's why I'm getting confused.
But it's like a slasher movie, but with like the gray aliens.
Okay.
And the ending is just wild.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah. Anytime I can watch something new, I always ask everyone in the chat because there's a lot I haven't seen as well. So I'm just like, guys, send me a DM. Let me know these movies I have to watch because always looking for something new to watch. But yeah, I mean, if you like, I would say The Thing is one of those movies that's more of like kind of like a paranoia movie. Did you ever watch The Faculty?
Yeah.
The late 90s movie, The Faculty. I would say The Faculty is like a teen slasher version of the thing, because there's that paranoia of like who is the alien, who's been, you know, compromised by the thing. There's even a scene, you know, the scene in The Faculty where they like snort the drugs to like prove that they're not, you know, the alien or whatever. There's like a test scene in the original thing. Plus Kurt Russell and John Carpenter, like in the 80s, you can't fucking go wrong. I mean, yeah, the thing is incredible. Probably, I would say arguably John Carpenter's best movie, including Halloween. And then let's see here. Necromechanimal says start bench cut Terrifier kills. Wow, we're getting really specific. This is awesome. I love this.
Okay.
Hacksaw, The Last Supper, or The Bedroom Kill.
The bedroom is like the salt one, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Ah.
Hacksaw's up the.
Yep.
And what's The Last Supper? Remind me.
It's Last Supper.
I think the Last Supper would be the one where he's like shoving the mashed potatoes in like he shot the woman with the shotgun like through the car window, and then sets her up at the table, and he like comes out with the apron, and he's all like,
Okay. I'm cutting that one because I forget it.
there you go.
Oh, this is hard though. I like the hacksaw. I'm starting the hacksaw. So I'll bench bedroom, I guess. That's tough though.
It is tough.
Yeah.
They're both really good.
Yeah. I'd say for shock factor here, I'm probably going to go with the hacksaw to start, and then the bedroom, and then the potato one, the dinner table. The dinner table one just makes me laugh because it's so over the top and fun.
I honestly don't even remember what it is, even after you guys explained it. So that says a lot.
Yeah, it's funny that Terrifier 2 by comparison seems like reserved to the first one, because I feel like that hacksaw kill, right? That's the one that goes from, you know, vag to mouth, right?
Yeah.
Is that the, yeah. that one's pretty
wild.
hardcore.
Did you watch the trailer for what's the trailer that just dropped? Stream.
Yep.
It's
No.
Damien Leon did the
special effects. It's from the same like team that does the Terrifier movies.
It's got a stacked cast.
Oh damn. Stream?
Yeah.
All right.
It looks good. Daniel Harris is in it.
Jeffrey Combs.
Felissa Rose.
There's a few recognizable faces in there too that I know there. I've seen them in something else, but I can't remember. I swear to God, I think Tony Todd's in there.
Yeah, he is. I looked it up here on YouTube.
Wallace.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah,
it looks like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And David Howard Thornton. There he is.
Yeah.
Man, it is incredible. Like, you know, when you're trying to create a slasher and you have that, you know, mute killer, it has to be so exact if you're gonna get the audience like on your side. And I feel like his performance as Art the Clown is like, that's make or break for each one of those, you know, each of the two movies. If he's not, you know, hitting it, it just ain't working. That, like, his performance to me is just incredible. Hats off to that guy. Little tiny black hats off to that guy.
I agree.
And then I saw that Raymond had put one out there and I had totally missed it. So he says, start bench cut Jason Goes to Hell, Freddy's Dead, and Halloween Resurrection.
I haven't seen any of those.
Oh dear. It's another hard one. I haven't seen Halloween Resurrection in so long. I'd probably start Freddy's Dead, bench Jason Goes to Hell, cut Halloween.
Yeah, it is really tough.
Yeah, I think Freddy's Dead is just like Freddy Krueger if he was thrown into a Looney Tunes cartoon. So if you look at it that way, you can actually have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it's pretty like kid friendly at that point. You know, not too adult. I mean, shit, when he's like playing Nintendo, it's like, you know, it's all over.
Yeah, or doing the Wicked Witch of the West at the start of the movie. It's like, oh my God, what have I got myself into?
Yeah. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little soul too. And then at Goo Goo Dolls in the soundtrack, just killing it. You know, they became the soundtrack band of the '90s. I feel like every big hit they had was on some sort of soundtrack. Yeah, this one is tough. I'd probably start Jason Goes to Hell. I'd probably bench Halloween Resurrection and cut Freddy's Dead. That's the way I am. And then Carbonite, E.T., the Canadian E.T. Low hanging fruit, but I love it. That gets my approval. And then Nick is just like the controversy surrounding Nick Push and his horror channel. Start, bench, cut, Canada, USA, Mexico. Nick, that's just unfair. What do you expect these guys to say, huh? You start Canada and cut the rest, right?
Yeah, pretty much, I guess.
No comment.
Have you guys spent much time in the States at all?
Yeah,
A little bit.
I went to Florida, like to Disney and stuff growing up, and then where did I go? I did a road trip to a music festival. I think it was in Atlanta.
You're looking at me like I know.
I know. Tomorrow World, it was called. It was a big rave. I went there twice. And then like New York, I went just like, I think I went for a wedding or something, but I haven't explored too much there in the States.
Yeah. I mean, you know, what's the difference, right? It's just here we have less French, you know, on our street signs, and it's all miles per hour instead of kilometers. I don't know what the rest of the difference. I don't know. I can't tell the difference.
Have you been here?
Yeah, just a little bit though. Just I mean, really just driving through British Columbia and then going and playing shows up there in the Vancouver area.
Okay.
So not too much really. Just I played when I was in my mid to late 20s, played it was this house show in East Vancouver. We played in a basement and it was like a squat house. So it's like, no joke, I went to use the bathroom and I looked up and like the ceiling was like rotted out. It was like, I played punk rock for a long time. I'm a relatively clean cut as far as punk rock goes. I came from a good home. So I was like, man, I really love the punk rock music, but I don't know if I can hang with these punks. But it was great. What I loved about the stuff, I'm a candy junkie and I love the different candy in Canada. So I love like, you know, going into the store and be like, oh, they have apple Mentos. Like this is friggin' blowing my mind, you know, because we just have the mixed fruit and the peppermint, which is fine, but it's kind of cool to go and see something else, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think we're all wrapped. I don't see any other start, bench, cuts. I know I told you guys I'd keep you for about 45 minutes. I feel like we're just a little bit past that. Look at Nick's just having a blast there. But yeah, guys, you know, before you head out, I just want to remind everybody, check out the link in the description below. Go check out our Life in Horror on YouTube. Follow them on Insta. I think I put the Insta, the Twitter, and the YouTube in the links in the description below. Let's get them past that 250 tonight. That's the goal here. And yeah, guys, tune in for the Jaws. You doing a watch along with Jaws?
No,
you're discussing it.
Discussion, yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, guys, live Jaws discussion tomorrow, and then a whole bunch of content down the pike. So really appreciate you guys hanging with us. Is there anything you want to give you know, the folks here in the chat you know, a little send off or anything like that before you head out?
Oh, just thank you so much for having us on. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was a blast.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we'll have to do something in the future. Maybe we can, I don't know if you guys heard me mention that Fatchy and I are trying to put something together where we do like watch alongs with our ladies. Maybe we could, you know, get you guys in on one of those. You know, I guess that's the cool thing about YouTube is like, once you interact with the content creator, it's sort of like, all right, cool. Now what's the next thing? Even if it's a month or two down the road, like we'll figure out a good time to put something together. So I had a blast getting to know you guys. This is the first time we've really like chatted. I don't know if anyone in the, you know, folks in the chat know that. This is, you know, sometimes I go into these interviews and it's just like, here we go. And yeah, it was great getting to know you guys. And I feel like, you know, very similar vibes to, especially when we're talking Evil Dead. I'm like, oh, these are my people right here. So maybe we'll have to do a little something Evil Dead related. Maybe Sam will bring you on to the you know, original trilogy. Come over to our side.
He's tried.
Yeah, I've been trying.
You know, you never know. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys, especially out there on the East Coast, staying up late for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll be hopping in the chat to bug you tomorrow night. And yeah, have a great rest of your night. Really appreciate you guys stopping by.
You too.
Thank you so much, you
Bye.
too.
Thank you.